I'm your host, Seneca Hampton, joined as always by the man who needs no introduction, Coach Bramlett. Coach, how you feeling today?
Man, doing good. Just good to have another week. Good to have a bye week. Getting healthy, getting a little bit better. Working on Greyhound football right now.
Most definitely, man. Today we got a lot to unpack. First, we'll dive into the week 5 win over Natchez. Then we'll break down what happened in week 6 against a very tough Picayune team. And of course, we got a couple special guests in the house tonight. Our player spotlight is senior running back Carsen Green and our coach Mike Collins, who's gonna come in and talk about what's been going on with the special team and the tight ends in Ocean Springs, and who else been doing big things with the Greyhounds.
And always we got our guys on the defensive side. Brian Alsmer's been doing, he does BJ things. He's I think he's leading the coast in sacks. I'm not sure statewide what he's doing, but he's really causing problems. And Asher Fazer at the defensive tackle position had 15 tackles against Picayune the other night from a defensive tackle spot, which against them, it helps out with what they do offensively, but still to come off double teams and make tackles like that. And then on the offensive side, Bryson Smith starting to come back into his own. He's starting to look like the old Bryson Smith. If you kick it to him, you're about to have an issue at that point. And then we're, trying to get the ball in his hands any way we can. Then our offensive line has been playing really well. They've been playing as well as any offensive line that we've had since I've been here. Things have been going really good in certain areas, just making sure we put everything together and finish ball games.
Oh, definitely. Before you jumped in, my bad, I forgot to pay the bills right now. But first, let's give a quick shout out to KnuckleHeads for sponsoring today's show. Thanks to them, we're able to bring you all these insight interviews each and every week. So without further ado, let's dive into week 5 of the Natchez game. So what a game it was. The team really executed well on both sides of the ball. What stood out to you about this victory?
You go in and play a really good Natchez team who's played some quality opponents, and they've scored a lot of points. Yeah. And defensively, it's no matter who you're playing, an offense that operates like that, and then you have a quarterback that plays as well as our quarterback does. And he's a guy who's very mobile, but he keeps his eyes downfield, has a live arm, and some really good receivers and a good running back to go with him. And, you're worried about just containing him. Can we hold them under 21 points? Can we make the big play when we need to and get him off the field and not let him extend plays? And they did that. They were all over the place. Now there's plays where they had to chase them around a little bit. And you have some D linemen that started to cramp up from pursuing and making sure they're getting to the football, and that's just something a quarterback like that does. But the way our defense played and the turnovers they came up with against Natchez was really big for us. And we started out the game, we're rolling offensively for 2 or 3 plays, and then threw an interception. I mean, it was a point in the game where we wanted to really push the ball in a certain area, and the ball got tipped, threw a pick, and then defense comes out. Immediately comes up with a scoop and score, goes back out 3 and out, gets the ball back to the offense, then you score and you start separating the game at that point. And that's the type of football that we want to play week in and week out, no matter who we're playing. And you started seeing some of those old traits of what we did a lot last year: create turnovers, make points out of it, make sure you make the other team pay, and that's how matches went for the most part.
Yeah. So you speaking of sticking to the script, sticking to the plan, we saw some great performance on the field, especially from your guy right here, senior running back Carsen Green. Yeah. He was moving the chains and kept the defense on their heels. What can you say about his performance that night, Coach?
Yeah, so, obviously, Will gets the majority of the totes during the game, and then, Carsen comes in and feels for Will whenever he's having some, whether getting tired or having an issue with, what we're calling and trying to figure out, making sure we're all on the same page. And then Carsen roll in at any point in time, and he knows exactly what's going on. He knows how to operate in the offense, and then running behind a good offensive line. He's a hard-nosed runner that he runs to pick up yards. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Whenever he goes forward, he's putting his head down. He's either coming through you or you're going to get out of the way, one of the two. Right. So had a really good game. I think he had 8 or 9 carries against Natchez, and some big-time yards he picked up, and we need those yards picked up. Very proud of him for doing that.
Talk about your quarterback play in the Natchez game. What did you take from your quarterback play in that game?
It started out slow. Started out a little bit slow. It had the interception early, and had a touchdown call back on the second play of the game for for a holding call out wide. And, they can just start out a little sluggish and continued that way about midway through the second quarter as far as the pass game. It just didn't feel like it was on. I think we were about 3 for 7 in the first half, something like that, and then come out and go into halftime and make a point to, all right, let's get him comfortable, let's get him confident, and good easy throws to start out the first half. And he ends the night, I think 10 of 15 or 10 of 14, one of the two. And just took some getting confidence and some short throws, and then starting to push it downfield a little bit. But as far as the rest of the game outside the pass game, just handled the game like a field general. It's a good game manager and kept the chains moving all times, kept us moving forward.
Yeah. Your receivers, they were targeted all that night, So Nolan Wells, I think he had a big game that game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did. And we're trying to find ways to not only get them the ball through the air, get them some quick game going early to make sure everybody gets the flow of the game, everybody's getting hit early, things of that nature.
Yeah.
We started handing the ball off to all the receivers more than we usually do. Usually it's kind of the running backs and slots that are toting the majority of the load.
Yeah.
We got our wideouts involved too, our power read game, our pin pull game, our buck sweeps, and just trying to get those guys involved in the game, get them the feel of it early. We're moving the ball, you're getting it toted. Now we'll hit you in the pass game a little bit. Nolan had a big game. Bryson had another big game offensively and on special teams. And then Sherrod and Jax also had big catches at points, and Ian Harlan came in with his first touchdown reception.
Right. Yeah, I seen that. Yeah. Ian, I'm like we talking about earlier, looking forward to seeing his trajectory, where he's going with his career.
He's got a very high ceiling.
Yes. Talk about your offensive line play. How did they stood the test against that Natchez front?
They got 2 Division I athletes for Natchez up front, and they accept the challenges they do week in and week out. I mean, they're playing. In the first 5 games, they played some of the best defensive linemen in the state. So, and just another business trip for them. Went out there, we ran the ball for over 300 yards. The offensive line play this year in the run game has been better than any year since I've been here. They're big, they're physical, they take it personally. Yeah. They finish blocks. They make sure that I'm doing my part to make my grade to where it needs to be, and that just helps my brother out here and helps my brother out there. They're doing a very good job as a unit up front right now, and even against Natchez, we had a player, Ethan Horn, who doesn't usually start for us. He came in for Jaden Ross. RJ bumped out the right tackle. We were looking at a little bit of a different lineup, and there was no hesitation for anybody up front. Did a good job protecting the quarterback as well. I feel like our offensive line play is just getting a little bit more elite every week, and it's going to get to a point where it's going to be hard just to stop them. I mean, put a ball behind those 5 guys, let them move forward, and they've done a really good job, accepted the challenge, accepted the weight on their back of me saying that I'm going to put it on y'all to carry this offensive unit until everybody else catches up because of the experience we have up there, and they've done a really good job with it.
Most definitely. Show us the clips from the game, Coach. I know they're tired of seeing our face.
You just tell me when we're good. All right. Starting out, this is the first play against Natchez. Personnel that we really like. We like getting condensed. We like trying to get Bryson the ball out. This is it's a read play too. So Connor's got the ability to pull it if he needs to. He reads his play out correctly, gets the ball out to him quick, times the motion up. You see Nolan on the outside doing a very good job in his blocking. Number 14 up top does a really good job. That guy does not want to give up the outside. That's fine. Take him that way. We'll be a really good athlete. Bryson is, and he's going to turn it up. He's going to make a guy miss and continue to pick up yards. One thing Bryson does a really good job with, that first guy at contact's not bringing him down. He's a really slippery defender. Gets through one, picks up another 7-8 yards. The first play of the game is great. We come back with some tempo, get under center. This is the second play of the game, trying to get Will Smith going. And he hits the edge. And, Will Smith's a really, really good running back. I mean, he takes it right up the sideline. This, unfortunately, gets called back on a holding, but, just wanting to show off for the offensive line a little bit, the things they're doing up front. Tight end's got a Division I athlete standing in front of him. He's handling him, controlling C-gap. Will makes one shoulder tackle miss, and then he takes it to the house. I mean, that's exactly how we wanted the first couple plays of the game to go. Yeah. And those guys did their part and made sure that everything was blocked up correctly. runners did their part of making somebody miss, and let's go with it. Now that one gets called back on a holding, and then we eventually get the points back. But coming back, trying to get Sherrod involved in the same way. The same exact play we ran with Bryson earlier. It's just out of a spread set.
Yeah.
And Connor, where he knows we're wanting to get the ball in our speed guys' hands, he reads the play out correctly. They're wanting to widen and take that sweep away. He's going to put his head down and run power, and this is his first chance at really getting to do that against an opponent, and he starts to run the ball pretty physical. This is his first carry running power of the season, and as the game went on, I think he ended up pulling it 8 times, and he started really looking like a quarterback that knew how to run power read at that point in time. Defense coming out now. Their quarterback, like I said, is a phenomenal athlete. They got 2 receivers who have a lot of offers. They're running back to young guys that's got some offers. Just a very talented offense. And you see BJ getting in the backfield, and he just this is a run read play for him, and they're trying to run the quarterback right here. BJ does a good job at mesh charges and then coming off on a quarterback that's really athletic, being long, getting his hands on him.
Yeah.
Then ensuing that play, you get a punt, ends up shanking it a little bit, but if you kick it anywhere near Bryson, Bryson's got the opportunity to do things. Now, he didn't finish it, just run all the way off, ends up getting tackled on the 10-yard line, but we want to come back, make sure Bryson gets his love for having that punt return, and come immediately back with a reverse to him, let him catch the edge and go. Big Zay's trying to get out there and do some lead blocking for him, but some people a little more agile than the 6'6", 350 guy. He's trying to get out there and help his boy out a little bit. Now this is going to Picayune, so if you want, we can keep on rolling.
No, we'll do Picayune at the end, like normally.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So took care of business with Natchez, put the first W on the board for the season for us, you know. And the momentum is starting to shift. That Picayune game, that was a tricky game. We'll talk about that game, later on in the show. But overall, what would you give the grade of the team against Natchez?
I'd say it's a solid B plus right there to 8. I mean, they took an opponent seriously that's in a lower classification. They want to make sure that they played Ocean Springs football. We're working on Ocean Springs. We're in a game against us and the school board, and that's it. It doesn't matter who steps out on the other side of the field. Take a 4-hour trip up there, get off the bus, start fast, finish fast, and there was no lull at any point in that game. They played really good football, and I'm very proud of them for doing that. And it's just something that as you're learning to win as a team, a new team, new faces coming in, new people in new places, and those are important games. You got to learn how to do those type of things as a team. You go on a long road trip and perform like you're supposed to, and then you gotta transition that week to week. It can't just be a 1 week thing. We can't just figure it out. Now we got it. We got the magic sauce. We're good to go. No, I mean it's every week. You got to prepare like that. And they prepared very well against Picayune. I'm not taking that away from them. It's just their attention to detail throughout the game. It has to stay the same through all 4 quarters. And they did that against Natchez. And then the other 4 games, all 5 games, 4 of them we were leading at the beginning of the 4th quarter, and the 5th one being Picayune, we were leading going into the 3rd quarter. And gave them 2 possessions in a row. It's like, guys, we have been winning all these ball games when the 4th quarter started outside of Picayune, and we're not coming away with the W. So what does that tell you? It's like, well, coach, we got to learn how to finish. Exactly. You've got to finish the game. You played some really good opponents and been up in the 4th quarter or starting the 4th quarter, and we've got to learn to finish those ball games. And they're taking strides towards that now. That's why we schedule like this. We wanted a lot of adversity at the beginning of the season, but we'd like to be 4-1 or 3-2 or even 2-3 coming out of it. Absolutely. But you're 1-4. You've learned your lessons. You've got to fix those. You got region play. Every goal that you could have in front of you, besides an undefeated season, is still right there. Right. It's you still have a chance to be the 1 seed in your region. You still have a chance to get a 4-peat as your region champion.
Field advantage, all that, everything.
And this is the year that the southernmost region gets home field all the way through the playoffs. So if you come out the 1 seed, you're at home until the state championship. So all those things are still in front of you. You still have your goals. You still have your opportunities. Now it's time to get to business, get to work. Everybody's 0-0 starting after Friday night, and it's time to get rolling.
Oh, definitely, and I look forward to it. We're gonna let you go enjoy you a steak. Yep. We're gonna bring in one of your players so we can spotlight Carsen Green. We're gonna take a small commercial break and pay some bills, and we'll be right back. Yep. And we are back. Now let's turn the spotlight to someone who's been a key part of this team for the past 3 years. He's a player who's been grinding day in and day out, showing consistency, leadership, and grit every time he steps on the field. Where 8 or 9 hard-fought carries against Natchez last week or week before last. He's a player who's not just respected by his teammates, but feared by the opponents. Today, we're proud to shine the spotlight on senior running back Carsen Green. Carsen, welcome to the show.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Man, you gotta loosen up, man. You gotta loosen up, man. We just talking right now, man. You know me, all right?
Yes, sir.
So, man, tell us, man. So it's your senior year. It's coming to an end now. Like, has that feeling hit you yet?
It has. I've been thinking really about what I'm going to do after school because football is just.
Yeah.
I mean, football is football, and you got to do what you got to do after football in high school. So I've just been thinking, not really exact on what I'll do, but I know a little bit of what I'll do after.
Yeah. All right. Well, Carsen, first off, congratulations. Well, y'all got your first win over Natchez. You was a consistent force in the backfield. They let you get in there and you did your thing, man. You know, almost 10 carries. How were you feeling going into that game, and what was your mindset?
On the ride up there, I was just locked in, listening to music.
What you listening to? What's your playlist like?
Soft and easy on game days.
Yeah.
I don't like too much on game days.
Yeah.
Just like chilling, really. But we're on the way up, and it was just like a normal day for me, really. But just locked in, and nothing different than any other Friday.
Right. You've been with the program for what now? Like forever?
Yes,
you know.
sir.
So, how do you feel you have grown as a player, and what are your goals for the rest of the season?
As a player, I've grown definitely speed-wise and mentally.
Yeah.
Not just on the field. Like football teaches me a lot outside of school, like brotherhood and everything else.
Yeah.
And then teaching me, I don't know, it just teaches me a lot.
Right. Um, well, you've been a big part of this team's success, and we can't wait to see what's next for you this season. Um, what are your fondest memories as being as a Greyhound?
One of my best memories is the year Bray was here. Whenever we lost the game,
Yeah.
that was like a big, like all of my friends were in that senior class.
Right.
And when we lost that game, it just, I don't know, I felt closer to them.
Right.
Whenever we were in the locker room after that.
Like, as an underclassman at that time, what was it like playing with Bray Hubbard, man? Was you a little starstruck, or?
I mean, I've known Bray forever because of my cousin, but
Yeah.
I mean, Bray is just Bray.
Yeah.
Not much you can say but
Right.
watch.
He just Bray.
Yeah.
All right. As one of the senior leaders on the team, how do you work with the younger players to help them adjust and understand their roles, especially during tough games like Picayune?
Yeah, sometimes I see the younger kids with their heads down and I pick them up and say, this isn't the end, even whenever there's like 2 minutes left and we're down.
Right.
So much can happen in a second and the whole thing's just flipped the other way.
Right. Football full of ups and downs. After a tough loss like the one to Picayune, what do you say to your teammates to keep morale up and refocus for the next game?
Just keep grounding and pounding, really. Just don't let off the brake because we should have won that game and many other games.
Right.
But falls how it falls, and just keep pushing forward on to the next week.
Yeah. Your work ethic has been talked about a lot. Where does that drive come from, and what advice would you give to a younger player who wants to reach your level?
I think my drive comes from not so much of people around me. I think it's because of like my size.
Yeah.
I'm so tiny and I'm not faster than everyone, so I gotta put 100% at all times, or I gotta put 130% and do it correctly every time. So I even look what's so good out there.
Right. How do you balance school, football, and your personal life? What keeps you focused? Locked in. What keeps you locked in?
My girlfriend really helps me sometimes on school and stuff, but I really just try to stay away from parties and just stay at home. Yes, sir. Just stay at home, play the game, go to sleep on a decent hour.
Should be playing Xbox or PlayStation?
PS5.
PS5. You on that college football yet?
Yes, sir.
Man, I was playing against Bray the other night, man. Man, on the kickoff, he hit my running back toss and get him a fumble. I screen recorded it and texted to him, man. Like you got that stupid cowboy collar on out there on the game. Man, but all right, as you headed into the final stretch of your high school football career, what's next for you? Are you looking at playing for the next level? And so what are you looking forward to most about that?
I kind of was looking into playing in the next level, but I just really see it as if I don't get the offer to go out there, then I'm just going to take my opportunity as it was in high school and then just keep going on with life and live a normal life. But high school, it was definitely fun. It definitely is fun.
All right, you've grown a lot as a player. You know, I've coached you since you was like 9 or 10 years old when we was with the Tiger Sharks, and you most definitely not that player that you were then. You actually developed into a nice, little, handsome young man, you know, and a darn pretty good football player, man. I like to see, you know, that growth and development of players. But over the years, what's the biggest lesson football has taught you? Not just about the game, but about life.
About life, it's taught me like just whenever something is going wrong, you can change it in an instant. It doesn't always have to keep following. Anything can change in any way every time.
Right.
So you just got to always be on 10 toes and just stay solid.
Yeah. All right, last question before we let you go. With the season winding down, what are your goals for the rest of the year, and what do you plan to hope to leave behind as your legacy as a Greyhound?
As the season goes on, I just hope we win more games than we lose and eventually get to the state championship. And I'm going to play my role, and hopefully everyone else plays their role.
Right. Most definitely, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Carsen Green, senior running back for the Ocean Springs Greyhounds. You can catch him not this week because they're on bye, but next week on the road against D'Iberville.
Yes,
be on the lookout for Carsen. He's our senior spotlight and player spotlight this week. All right, we're going to take a small commercial break, and we're going to be right back with special teams coach and tight end coach Collins. Peace out. Appreciate it. And we are back. This time we have a repeat guest, Coach Collins, of course, the Greyhounds tight end and special teams coach. Coach, we see your tight ends play a crucial role in both the run game and the passing attack. How do you balance their responsibility in those two areas, and what's your focus for them going into the week? We know y'all have a bye this week, so we're prepping for D'Iberville right now, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I think I said before, I'm blessed with some guys around me that are really good at what they do.
Right.
When we need to work on run game, we go down with Coach Lee, and he knows how to teach those first steps. And the second step, bring your hands, bring the power. And then when we need to work routes, we go down there with Coach Lampley, and they work on those first steps, getting off the ball, whether it be from the hip position, flex them out wide, whatever they need to learn. So It takes an army.
Yeah,
it's such a diverse position, and we got the great Coach Lee in the house.
We got the legendary Coach Lee in the house. Troy's on TV right now.
We got the man of Troy, and we don't have him on the TV.
Why we don't got Troy on TV and we got the legend Robin Lee in the house tonight? Like they changed. What the heck, man?
So I mean, it's just a balance act, you know. And in this off week, we went back and watched some film, first 5 games, and just looking at the little things. What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? Let's basically treat this week like we are in spring training. Yeah, you know, let's
ain't
do
no off week.
It is. It is back to our first steps aren't great. Yeah. Okay. Our second steps aren't this. Yeah. We are basic. Yeah. You know, and then that's indie time, and we go down with the team and do what we got to do there as far as install, getting ready for next week. But that's what you're focusing on, you know, during this little off period.
Yeah. Since the last time you were on the show, how were your tight ends developed, man? How have your tight ends developed? And are there any players who have stepped up, and what growth have you noticed in their performance?
Well, I mean, they both lived up to the expectation that I put on them. Hayden Berglund has done what I needed him to do. Calvin has went far and beyond. He is the ultimate team guy. Coach, whatever you need me to do, I'll do. And he has stepped into a lot of special teams roles. I know we'll talk about that in a minute. He's about on daggum every unit. I mean, now he's even getting his hand in the ground playing some defense. I mean, he is the epitome of what you want a high school football player to be, and he's a great teammate. So he's matured a lot, you know, just mentally from when I had the 9th grade until now. And I've been very pleased with both of their progression so far.
Special teams often don't get the spotlight until a big play happens. But what's the biggest challenge in getting the unit to stay sharp and consistent? And what's an area that you've been working on improving?
I see what we worked on this week, improving just the, you know, going back, looking at the film and little things of spot drops from kickoff return. So we did a lot of more individual, not full unit, just maybe 3 or 4 guys going and dropping to where they need to drop to set up what our scheme is. And on kickoff, working all 3 phases. I just call it the triple A's: the acceleration, the avoid, and the attack. All 3 different sections, going back and just really highlighting those 3 things and putting those guys in the position where they are on the unit. We've stayed pretty consistent with the depth chart. It hasn't changed much. And just showing them this is where we need to get better. You're still doing it pretty good, but you're not where we need to be, you know, because we're at the part of the year now that it matters. So we can't give up anything cheap. And I mean, and I think we're blessed with probably one of the best kickers in 7A, even as a junior. We haven't had many kickoffs we've had to run down there and really hit somebody, but still on those ones that he don't put in the end zone, we've got to make tackles. We want to get them to start inside the 25.
And he pins them back.
He does.
He pins them back. You know, special teams plays a huge role in tight games. Whether it's a clutch punt, field goal, or kick return, how do you prepare your unit for those high-pressure moments?
Well, I think we talked about
pressure, it. Do you prepare?
Yes. We bring them at practice. You know, and we've had a few hiccups. You know, I'm not going to deny it. We had a block punt. I believe it was against Northwest that it was very crucial in the game. Just bad communication up front. You know, and like I tell the guys, I hate to say it, but as a grown man, if you don't do your job, you get fired. It's just part of it. It's just part of life. And so we made some personnel changes after that. And I don't think we've had anything close to getting back there to Peyton. I mean, I think he had a 61-yarder last week against Picayune, boomed it, which I think he's now got as far as coaches getting on there and putting their stats in, he's leading 7A in punt distance as far as the longest one. He's at 61 yards. He's like second, I think, in average. Luckily, we haven't had to punt him as much. We haven't put him in those situations, but I mean, the ones he's had to punt, he's lived up. And I can tell the off-season work he's done has been great. But you just put him, you pressure them at practice. You bring those scout guys out. We have some 9th graders that practice with us, and they go after it because they try to prove themselves. They love it. They want to prove themselves, and we got some that love to prove themselves.
That's the last time you get them when they're like that.
They're young pups. They're babies, and my God, they are 100% all the time. They hit inside the green, and it's ready to roll. And so we're going to get a bunch of them after 9th grade's over with. It's going to fire up some older guys. They're going to realize, oh crap, there's some dudes that are. You know, this is a great group of 9th graders we got coming up, and so they're going to see this. There's some dudes that are going to try. So, but no, we just I just do it every which way possible that I could think of within a game. That's how I'm going to pressure you based off obviously the film I've seen.
Yeah. We know the loss to Picayune's tough, but from a special team and tight end perspective, like what adjustments you made to ensure better prepared going to the next game? Well, the special teams even play a role in that game?
The special team. Well, like I said, Peyton had the 61-yard punt. Yeah. We had the punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah,
unfortunately, we had the block in the back. It was a block in the back. It hurt us, but it didn't have to happen. Right. That's what was so frustrating because, Bryson he's a top tier athlete in this state. I don't care what all-star selection's out there. He is a dude, and he's going to make most guys miss, especially a guy running down that's not a skilled guy. Yeah. So the block didn't have to happen. But another argument of the day. Yeah. But the kickoffs were great. But unfortunately, we had that wind coming in from the hurricane. So when we were kicking to the scoreboard, we couldn't really kick it deep early on. And the wind kind of died down. We got a touchdown. We kick it the other way. He kicks it about 4 yards out the back of the end zone. Peyton kicked a beautiful onside kick. And if he's just one bounce away from getting a second one because Bryson was there, they gave us the same alignment, everything we wanted, just didn't get it. So I think Peyton probably had his best all-around game as far as kicking goes with the kickoffs, with the punts, and the field goals. He was perfect on those. He had the best grade that he's had all season. Yeah. Can't ask for more. I wish they'd have kicked it to us. We could have done something on kickoff return, but it is what it is. They give us the ball on the 30 or better every time. We're putting the offense up there for success. And then tight ends, I talked today. I said, guys, our first steps have gotten better. Second steps need work. I can't control your attitude. Yeah, you got to come on with it. I think our aggression could be better. They know it. Yeah, Coach Bramlett knows it. Coach Lampley, Coach Lee, because that's why we spent a long week on the sled with them offensive linemen. I said you got to come with a little bit more, and I can't coach that. I can't coach your effort or your attitude. You got to bring it. Much better week in those regards. Right. So. Hopefully another week of sleds that don't come out against the Ivory saying this sled's a bunch of I'm tired of hitting this daggone thing.
They're gonna need it because that D'Ivoryville front is pretty tough.
Man. No, they're a great team.
They're a good team. They
really have done a great job of getting his guys ready. They've had a vast improvement. I've been watching since week 1. Saw their film and I said, "Oh boy, I'm
gonna see if he'll come next week on the show, man."
Yeah,
it'd be pretty cool. We coast now, like everything's close now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean. Every day of the week and every hour, we're all friends. But for 3 hours for one night a week, one night a year, right? We aren't friends for 3 hours. And after that, we're back to being cool. So I'd love for him to come.
Right, that'd be cool. I'm sending the invite out.
Yeah, we'll welcome him with open arms and let's talk football.
Right. All right. Now that we're at the halfway mark of the season, how would you assess the progress of your unit? The tight ends and the specialties, have they exceeded expectation, or will you still want some improvement?
I hate to say it, you'll never exceed the expectations. Yeah, the expectations are there, but there's always room for improvement, no matter how good you are. I was, messing with Peyton today. I'm like, hey man, you got the longest punt for the whole 7A this year, but you're second in average.
Keep them
hey man, you've only missed one PAT, but the kid from Brandon hasn't missed any. And I hate to say it, but the very first PAT attempt of the season against Madison was a bad snap, and the fact that he put his foot to the ball still ended up having to go as a miss. So he's 95%. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, and so they've. You're never going to get to the ultimate goal. Yeah, because if you're always striving for perfection, you can always get better. Yeah, if once you get complacent. Yeah. That's it. I'm sure my wife's watching. She said this to me years and years ago when I was at Moss Point. She said, complacency is the death of greatness. Yeah. So I've lived by that ever since she told me that. Because we had lost the first round playoff game and I was hot. Yeah. And so I was like, man, you turned into a Hallmark card here on the sideline. I don't need you doing this to me. But I told tight ends, told Peyton, no matter how good you think you are, there's always room for improvement. Right. We got to keep getting better. Yeah. Looking ahead, to the next opponent, what are your biggest challenges for your unit, and how are you preparing them to step up to those key areas? facing this adversity. You know, we got a group of kids that have never faced this kind of adversity. What we're having, you know, with our record, and what's very unfortunate is that we've been leading every game that we've lost.
Yeah.
You know, and so
little things here, little things there. You got some wins.
It's come down to one play or maybe two, and it's cost us games, and it's so frustrating. But you can't ask for more. Kids are showing up. We're in the weight room on 2-3 days a week, and they've got energy. They're bouncing around. They're still having fun playing the game of football.
Right.
So that's all you can ask for, and so all you can focus on is what we do. Let's do what we do. Let's do it well. Yeah. And good things are going to happen, guys. I promise you, if you just keep playing, because y'all are too daggone good. Too many good football players on this roster for that to keep happening. It's just now you have to win. You have to make that play to win. Yeah. Because they've never had to experience it. Some of them have never had to experience that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can believe it. And hey, like you said, we're at the halfway mark of the season, man. Like now we got region play, so now you're playing for formidable foes that you're accustomed to playing, and you can game plan a little bit better because now you're vying for that 7A district. Now that it's time to the preseason is over.
It's 0-0.
Yeah, 0-0.
I mean, I think we had that discussion. My guys, I said, if we go 5-0. Great. It don't matter if you lose the next 5.
Yeah.
You go 0-5 and win the next 5. Yeah. And then we're in a whole different type of emotional.
And that's that old coast football that we're trying to get from, where you're just playing those regular season games just to appease the crowd, to say we won. And then when you get in district in the playoffs, you get the pie in your face.
Well, but also what we've never had before, we never played those games in the regular season. Mm-mm. We've proven we can hang with what was expected.
Madison,
what was expected to be maybe the team to come out of the South. Hey guys, you were up 21-14 with 9 minutes ago in the fourth quarter. Yeah, those are some bad dudes over there, and you were playing with them. Yeah, And then Madison's not expected, but they are one of the favorites coming out of the North. Guys, you're up 13-0 on them. Yeah. You can play with these guys. Yeah. You are not a bad football team by any means. Right. Y'all are good football players. We have got to finish. We're a good team. Mm-hmm. And somebody texted me yesterday, "You're the best 1-4 team I've ever seen." I'm like, I don't send me that. I don't want to. I appreciate the compliment, but
you could have kept that one.
Yeah, keep it, man. I said, but we've got great kids and showing up, working hard. That's all you can ask for. And just preaching 0-0. Let's get healthy this week and let's get rolling. Right. We're not done.
Yeah, that's it. And like I said, we're gonna get right this. We're gonna hit the sled this week, and then we get ready next week for those Warriors. And of course, the Greyhound Nation will travel over to D'Iberville.
Absolutely.
And to play in front of that tough crowd. And coast football is here.
It's here.
It's here. It's here. Coast football.
We're gonna be all right. So all the fans out there keep supporting us. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. As the Greyhounds so eloquently dubbed themselves the kings of the coast. Now you got to defend that crown.
We still got to defend it, So I like where we're going to be at. We're going to be okay. That's the optimist in me.
Right.
I can't think any other way because I think we got great kids.
Appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate your support.
Don't be no stranger, man. Always.
I'm here. Well, I got my little girl. I got to give her a shout out, Peyton. She cheerleads for our junior high.
Shout out to Peyton.
By the time we got done with practice, I couldn't go all the way out to Picayune to go watch her. So I told her, I said, "Sorry, sweetheart, one game I won't come to. That's why I ain't going to make it since then."
That's a long drive, Peyton.
That's a long drive. She's cheering our 8th grade on right now, so she'll see this on the playback probably when she gets on the bus.
Shout out to Peyton and the rest of the Greyhound ladies.
All the girls, and they're all out there working hard, cheering on our kids. So shout out to them. Coach Weatherford, they do a great job.
Most definitely, man. And all right, we're going to take a break, and we're going to pay some bills with our ads, and we're going to be right back with Coach Bramlett's Coach's Corner to talk about the Picayune game from last week and what's ahead for the bye week for this week. Stay tuned. We're just going over it's a bye week, so we're just going over All right. And we are back. This is our segment, Coach's Corner, where we go over our opponent for this week. But unfortunately, since we was down a week, we went over last week, and now this week we're going over Picayune, and they're on bye week. So now we come back next week, we'll be caught up. But we're going to go over the Picayune game. Coach, Picayune's a strong team, no doubt about it. From your perspective, what were the key factors that led to that loss?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're, like you said, a really strong team, got really good players. Now they their first 4 games, I think they were 2-2 coming into us, and had lost to Brandon and Gulfport. And you're looking at film and you're seeing what they're doing offensively. They look the same as they always do. Had a couple turnovers here and there that are really costing them, but defensively they were a lot like us. They're replacing 9-10 starters on that side of the ball. We're looking at them. It felt like we'd run the ball pretty well against them, and they come out and they made a wholesale change on defense prior to playing us, which is about the 4th week in a row that somebody's made a wholesale change on defense prior to the game. Different fronts, different people playing both ways, whatever they need to do, different coverages, and that's something threw us a little bit of a wrinkle in the first part of the game, but. We still had 410 yards of offense. You capitalized on some drives. What it did do to us, them changing their defense up, was, our second, third drives, we didn't put points on the board, and that's what you got to do against teams like that is putting points on board consistently in the first half. So it was effective, and then you go in the half and you're up, and you come back out and they get the ball first, and they do what Picayune does. They go down the field and they score. Kick off to us, we fumble the kickoff return, and they score the next play. And then the game's completely flipped. You go from up coming into the third quarter to now you're down 10, and it's a complete flip flop of how you felt going into the locker room. And that's just some things that we gotta fix. We gotta clean up, and it's not that the situation that arose at that point in time is not a thing that. It's not a personal foul. You're not running kids what they're doing. It was the one turnover in the entire game. They didn't have any turnovers. We had one on special teams, and that was it. Other than that, it was a clean ball game turnover wise, and turnovers happen. They are going to happen, and yes, we do hold our kids accountable for making sure that we're protecting the football at all times, whether it be the quarterback position or running the football or anything else, but. The one turnover difference in the game, you lose about 3 points, and they gotta score the play after a turnover. So, it was a big point of the ball game, and then, a couple things didn't go our way here and there, but we had opportunities in the first half when things were going clean and our defense is fresh. Again, separate early, and we're having some struggles with that right now. But it's things that we've got to fix and things that we've been really good at in the past, and we're not doing really well right now. Is putting up big numbers in the first half. Right. We've been a first half team since I've been here, and that's how we operated. You put up 28, you put up 35 in the first half, and then you let the second half figure out itself. You go out there, you control the football, you control the game, and we got to get better on that aspect of it because we have gone into every halftime opposite of 1, you're up. You go into every fourth quarter opposite of 1, you're up. And those are 2 different ball games, halftime and fourth quarter, and it's just, we're trying to play as a second half team right now, score a lot of points in the second half, but you got to score them in the first half. Yeah. It's high school football. You got to put up points in the first half.
Most definitely. You got some clips for us from the Picayune game?
Yeah, so again, we'll start out first play of the ball game, something that we thought would work really well for us. We had an inkling that they were starting out with, a bunch of offensive starters on the defense side. Right there, you see number 4. You see your fullback here, your tight ends right here. You got an offensive lineman, one of the better defensive linemen right here. You got another offensive lineman mixed in. Your quarterbacks down here. They come out. Everybody's playing both ways right now. We start the game a lot of times with the sweep type of action. We fake the sweep, let Will take a same side counter underneath, and he gets loose. And like I told you earlier, who makes the play but number 4? He is an absolute ball player. And if you watch him right here at the linebacker position, strong side linebacker position, he bites on the play fake. He bites on the sweep. you'll watch him 1, 2, 3, 4 steps that way, put a foot in the ground, and he is the only person that keeps 8 from scoring. And that's that's a big time players doing big time things, and there's nothing you can fault anybody on our offense for doing differently right there. But that dude is really good. He's really good.
It's funny, man. Me and you talked about him the day before the game or so, and I was like, "Hey, man, you stop. You keep 4 contained for 4 quarters, you win the game."
Yeah, well,
he said, "Yeah, we're gonna try this."
Yeah, we kept it contained for 2.5 quarters, and then defensively, I mean, there ain't no containing this. He's gonna do what he's gonna do. Yeah. Later on, same drive.
Y'all ain't the only people he done did it to.
That's right. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
4 or 5 plays later, same drive. Try to get Will involved in the pass game a little bit, throw a screen to him. Got a caravan of people out front. Raymond Johnson, RJ, thinks he's a skill guy. He wants to run around with his back sometimes. But get out there, nobody to block, just caravan you to the end zone. And that was the first drive of the ball game.
That's a good check down by Connor.
Yeah. And come out, defense. I had first drive out there. They get them in a 4th and long situation. They didn't punt the entire game against Gulfport, so we really didn't know what to expect. Against Brandon, they did one thing, had a different punter back there. Against, I'm going to say, from D'Iberville, they had another punter ran out of a different formation. So 2 different games, 2 different punt formations. Third game, they didn't punt. Didn't really know what to expect here, but our goal was no matter what, we're going to play it safe, and we're going to try to get a return to our left. All right, we felt like no matter if the left-footed number 4 was back there kicking against D'Iberville, no matter if he was back there kicking left-footed or this cat was back there, we're just going to pick a side, contain it, return left. Guy tries to kick it away from Bryson, and I'm down here hollering. I can see where all the defenders are. I'm yelling at Bryson to pick it up and let's roll. And he does it, and that right there causes a touchdown. I mean, it's not picking on Brody at all. Brody's been a heck of a player for us for 2 or 3 weeks straight now. Was a good one, that one. And just a simple block in the back right there that doesn't look like it's a big thing, just a little bit of a shoulder nudge, and ends up costing us what would have been this.
I'm talking about, boy, you kick it to Bryson Smith.
Yeah.
The man taking that thing back to the other side.
And this is their first offensive series of the game. So you're looking at 14-0 within the first 5 minutes. And potential game changer. Instead, we end up backed up on the 10, drive it. This is where we ended up at.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yep. Come out the first play. Connor, I would love Connor to throw this ball
earlier.
Now.
Yeah.
But it's not a play that we've worked a whole lot this year. Weren't expecting a 50 defense, 0 coverage. So it's just something we had to kind of go back in the bag of tricks and pull out. And points him downfield, delivers a good football, and then you see the one-handed catch by Bryson right there to get us out of backed up territory. I was texting Bryson earlier today, just we were talking about a few things, and I was like, I saw the old Bryson Friday. Yeah. I was like, it was it's starting to get those wheels back under him, and he's
the way he returned those kick returns.
Yes,
he will be playing Saturdays instead of Thursdays. And my opinion, I'm not a recruiter, I'm not a coach, but the way I see he get that ball and return them, that's Saturday stuff.
And the reason I was texting him earlier is because he got a little bit snubbed with the All-Star picks, and it is what it is with that. And I told him, I was like, look, that is no reflection on what you've done the past 2 years here and then leading up this year. I mean, it's other people's opinion who don't even know who you are. Right. So your play can't use it as fuel. Use it to prove somebody wrong. That's when he was getting back with me. I mean, he doesn't care what our record is. He knows what's in front of us. He knows how he's starting to feel right now. And he's like, Coach, he goes, I'm ready to go. He goes, I'm ready to go. Cut me loose. And he goes, let's do this thing. And, but you say less. Yeah. I promise you we'll cut you loose at this point. Yeah. Just want to show a couple defensive clips. It's really hard to, really highlight things when you're going against this type of offense. But just defensive linemen getting off blocks, people fitting the right gaps. Our eye discipline right here is pretty incredible. You got 3 lead blockers, but you got 3.5 people to take it on right here. and do a good job. Candle Cost is right here. He's number 31. He's a young guy for us, a big guy. And he's doing a good job getting off blocks and just causing chaos in the backfield. Come on, baby. All right. Looking at 3:27 left in the half, it's tied 7-7. We're got the ball back in a good situation. We were running the ball, the clock was rolling, and we were at a point where, thinking in a head coach situation, hey, we're 1st and 10 right here. We can run the ball down. We can eat some clock up. Just make sure that whenever we kick off to them, there's only 30 or so seconds left. Mm-hmm. But when you got these type of athletes on the field and they give you the time to run the play, you're going to run the play. And I'm not ever, after our red zone woes in the first part of the year, if they give me a chance, we're going to put it in the end zone. And they gave us a chance right here. Get a little end around the Sherrod. Yeah. Nolan's doing a great job downfield. You see Bryson is coming from the other side of the field at the number 2 receiver position over here. And all you're going to see is a blue streak coming across to make sure he gets over here to help out. And, just guys doing things to make sure their boys get in the end zone. Go up 14-7 right there. And then they get the ball with 3 minutes left in the game, or 3 minutes left in the half. They drive down, get aided by a big penalty on a 3rd and long, end up kicking a field goal, make it 14-10 going into half. Come out, they get the ball first. They go down there and score. That's no big deal. 17-14. We're about to get the ball. I feel really good about what we're doing offensively. And then we fumble the kickoff return on about the 18-yard line. They end up getting it on the 14, and then they score the next play. And you went from the last time you touched the ball, you were up 14-7, and the next time you touch the ball, you're down 24-14. Right. I mean, that is a huge swing in the ball game, and a point where I commend our guys for not at that point just tanking it, because there's a lot of heavy feeling on your sideline at that point in time, and they come out and as a first play, I'm gonna say the first play. You see where the down marker is up there. Mm-hmm. Immediately have a penalty as soon as we finally do get the ball back. Mm-hmm. It's 1st and 20. Come out, and we get our man number 7 the ball. Connor makes a heck of a throw. Bryson makes a heck of a catch. Yeah. Now there was opportunity for him to hit that earlier and give Bryson a chance to have a little bit of wiggle room, but that made a good throw, good catch. Battle our way back into it. It's 31-21, but at this point in the game, even though you're a minute 6 left in the 3rd quarter, you're in 2-minute offense right now. You're going against an offense that's already worn your defense down. Right. You're struggling to make stops. You got to score every time you get the ball, and score quickly and give your defense as many opportunities as they can to get off the field and not allow them to get points. This is a 4th and 4.5 from the middle of the field. You're down 10, a minute left to go in the 3rd quarter, but it felt like it was that play that was going to win you the ball game. We go to number 7 again, just another end around that you saw against Natchez, and this is where I said that you saw number 7 from last year come back, because I hadn't seen this speed yet all year. And whenever he turns it on right there, that's just a different type of football player. He took that game on his back, and he was ready to make everything happen.
I was at the George County game against Wayne County, and every time I see a notification come up, I'm like, boy, Bryson getting out.
Yeah, man. he was, and this is get down 17. There's 7 minutes left to go in the game. Like I said, struggling to stop them. Got to score every time. Tell Connor, I was like, at the end of the day, I don't care if it's there, if it's not. I was like, give your guys a chance to make a play, and big-time players do things like what Nolan does right here. He goes up over the back of his head, makes a big catch, gets in the end zone. It's 38-28 now, and there's still 7 minutes left to go in the game. Peyton comes out on special teams and does a heck of an onside kick. I mean, the best one he's done in practice or anything else, and guess who? Bryson's there to jump up and take it away from somebody.
Yeah. He's going to be at the Oak getting a Player of the Week award tomorrow. Huh?
We worked our way down the field in a minute and 15 seconds. this is just showing the grit of our offensive front. We're down there on the 1 yard, or I'm sorry, the 2 yard line on 2nd and goal. Yeah. We just threw a ball to Bryson from the 8. He got it down there to the 2. And our whole offensive line looked back at the sideline and called for, it's essentially the Philadelphia Eagles tush push that you got. Yeah. And they wanted it. They pushed Connor about 5 yards into the end zone. I don't know why it took the official 30 seconds to call a touchdown on it, because his feet are laying on the goal line whenever the whole thing's done with. But the whole offensive line's calling for that. It's that's it. Keep on. Yeah. A great way to come back. You're 38-35, and there's 5.5 minutes left to go in the game, or 5:50 left to go in the game, and but you're still in that situation where I felt like an onside kick was like what we needed to do. Our defense is really, really tired. Go out there and we onside kick and just don't get the same hop that we got the first time. Yeah. They get the ball back. Defense. No, actually, 3 of our offensive linemen went and played D-line. Held them right there. Fourth down with 2.5 minutes left. Yeah. I should have put that clip on there. I'm sorry. That's just a heck of an effort by number 4, and I should have gave him a little bit of props by putting that clip on there. But, they're 4th down and 4.5, and with 2.5 minutes left to go in the game, an opportunity for us to get a stop midfield, and they decided to go for it instead of punt it. Give the ball to number 4, who's the best athlete on the field at that point in time, and we have him wrapped up in the backfield, and he makes an individual effort that you can't see out of most people. Just one of those the efforts that you're like, that's not humanly possible to make that many people miss, come out of that, stretch out, be completely parallel with the ground, and then get the ball across the sticks before your knees hit the ground. And he did that. There's, people, whatever. I'm not even arguing the spot now. I've been able to slow it down. I've looked at it. They've made a good call on the spot. He got the first down, and it was an incredible effort for him to get the first down. He went through 7 people before he got that first down, and it wasn't poor tackling. It was an individual will to, we are finishing this game now, and kudos to Darrell Smith for being able to do that, and kudos to Coach Stogner for calling the play and putting it in that guy's hands.
Wow. So, Coach, after a game like that, how do you refocus the team for the next opponent?
It's tough. It is tough. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Whenever you take 4 on the chin during your non-region play, and not just 4 on the chin, you never got blew outs. You never got beat bad. It was all games that you had opportunities to win, and probably should have won at least 3 of them. Yeah. But convincing a 16 or 17 or 18-year-old kid who the only thing they hear and the only thing they see is 1 and 4, or they hear their buddy saying y'all 1 and 4. They hear the guy next town saying y'all are 1 and 4. Well, not everybody's played the same schedule. Right. Not everybody's done the same things you're doing, and that's a test to our adversity and what I was challenging y'all with whenever we made this schedule. Right. I wanted to see what you could handle for those 4 games you're going to have to play at the end of the year to win a state championship. Yeah. Could you handle playing 4 teams like that in 5 weeks? Yeah. We're going to find out. Yeah. Well, we learned our lessons. We know where we should be, and you could just as easily be 5-0 right now and be feeling really good about yourselves, where you would still have some warts you need to fix. Yeah. Well, that it's a hard thing to explain to most high school kids, but our kids get it for the most part. Yeah. They get it. And the ones that don't are the ones that, you weren't going to be able to count on anyway. Okay. And that's where our guys have done a really good job of focusing on our core and focusing on those guys who are there for the right reasons and understand that we got a long way to go this season. Mm-hmm. We haven't even started what actually matters yet. Right. And those guys are, they understand that. They've been there. They've done that. No, they haven't lost this many games in a year in 4 years. And since 2019 was the last time they lost 4 games in a year. Yeah. And I was like, well, stop it at 4. Right. Stop it at 4. I was like, we've had every opportunity to finish ball games. Yeah. We've had opportunities. We've been up. We've been winning. We've got to finish. We got to stop it at 4. Right. And I'm fine with that. I know who we played. I know what we've done. Yes, I see the worst of the worst just because I'm a coach, and those are the guys I watch every day. I know what's the worst of our worst, but the upside and what's great there is is so far more than what people are seeing just because they're looking at a record. And the opportunities for this team to be really good and be one of the most dynamic teams that this city's seen is still in front of them, and the potential is there. The players are there. It's them putting the chemistry part of it together, the knowing where such and such is going to be at such and such time, and being able to make that play when that time counts. And, you know, we talked about early in the year that we were not worried, but didn't know what we were going to have on defense. Well, our defense has proven that they're really good, and they do get tired. They don't have a lot of depth. But offensively, you got to separate the ball game early where that doesn't matter in the fourth quarter.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your insight as always. You know, it's tough to take a loss like that, but we know the team's going to come back stronger. And I want to thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to seeing how you guys adjust in the next game. Enjoy this bye week. Get ready because you know coast football time is region play now.
That's
time to defend that title as the Kings of the Coast.
Yeah, defend the title, man. Defend the title, and we look forward to starting it out. The Iberville's much improved this year. They're a good football team. They're hard nosed. They're really solid on defense. They got weapons on offense. I mean, that's going to be a really good matchup. But I'll save that talk for next week. All
right, well, this is your host, Seneca Hampton, and this is another episode of the Big Game Breakdown. Tune in each and every week right here live at KnuckleHeads, and I'll see you guys next week.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, bro.